Welcome to the Alpha Assembly Solutions booth here at Apex. I'm delighted to be joined by Robert Wallace, who's the Regional Marketing Manager. Nice to see you, Robert.
Good to see you, Trevor. Welcome to Alpha.
So we've got three areas we're going to talk about today. The first one is, of course, your markets, because you're very heavily focused in automotive, but you actually address a number of different markets. Can you maybe explain some of these?
We absolutely do, Trevor. I mean, not only are we customer focused, but we're also market technology focused as well, right? And so, for instance, the products that you would offer or that would be optimized, say, for computers, whether that's cabling all the way up to motherboards, that may not be the same product mix that would provide the best value to, say, automotive, right? And so we understand that. We understand the end use of our customers, and that, like I said, an automotive company would have different requirements, say, than consumer electronics. Right.
So you build alloys targeted for different applications, basically. So do you have automotive targeted alloys? Do you have consumer targeted alloys, etc., or do they cross the divides?
That's absolutely correct, Trevor. And in the case of, say, automotive, they're high reliability, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have an alloy composition called Inalot that really provides their end use, like automotive underhood, when you're talking about a lead-free type of alloy, that performs better, say, than SAC 305. Mm-hmm. SAC 305 performs very, very well for consumer electronics, even into some high reliability assemblies, right? And so it's a broad spectrum. But when you need that solder joint reliability in terms of its thermal cycling performance, in terms of its mechanical bond strength, then we do have alloy specific for that, and that is market driven, right?
So, turning our attention to one of the new alloys that you've introduced here at the show, you're working on, you have something that's really helping to lower the voiding issues.
We actually have a total, what we call a void reduction solution, right? And so it's not only alloy specific, Trevor, but what we do is that we consult and we work directly with an end customer that is having a voiding issue, right? And Trevor, it's really never usually one particular situation or driver that is causing the voiding issue. In the case of, let's say, the more demanding and newer technology LGA devices, where inherently they're problematic with regard to their voiding, simply a change of solder paste or a stencil design, what have you, is not typically going to solve that problem to the customer's expectations or requirements.
So what are you going to use? I mean, what additional steps do you put into the process?
I'm glad you asked. What we do, when I say we consult with our customers, this is a very intimate, engagement with a customer. We need to know specifically what their requirements are. We need to know what difficulties they're having now. We review their process with regard to not only the board construction, which the material set that they use for that, the surface finishes and so forth can contribute to the voiding, but also the component design, the metal finishes on the components can contribute to that, and then also the material set. But above and beyond that, Trevor, where we've always done a great job and added value or provided value to our customers is understanding our customers' process exactly, right? So when we're talking about a solder paste that may reduce voiding, it's great to say that, but some customers may not realize the full benefit of that particular flux matrix or alloy. You really have to understand exactly what the overall picture is, right? And like I said before, all the elements that go into that. We have a proven methodology when we engage with our customers to reduce voids, and upwards of 50%, right?
So you're really using a material set approach, so you lower the number of CTE mismatches and this type of thing.
It absolutely could be, right? But more so than a material set, would it be a change of solder paste? Would it be the addition of a solder preform? Could it be a change of a stencil design? Could it simply be an enhancement on their current process? Or are we looking at the potential for adding equipment and adding capability that they don't have now? What we do, Trevor, is we spend time with the customer, we go through an audit, if you will, and then at the end of that, we provide them with a report. And we are going to list our recommendations in terms of how they can achieve the voiding performance that they're looking for with regard to not only the material set, because, let's face it, we're a manufacturer of solder paste and preforms and other solder materials. However, we're not finished, right? That's not the whole job. We have to basically let them know what their capabilities are with regard to the board construction, the board finishes, the components, and then the process. And that's where we add value to our customers.
Exactly, because it's also known that if you bring in things like vacuum chambers into ovens and that sort of thing, that is a big contributor.
Definitely would, there are certain process and certain processes now and equipment that is available that really would enable a customer to reduce, their level of voiding. And so, like I said, it's not only alloy, it's not only materials, it's the entire package. And that's where we bring our expertise to help a customer solve a problem.
Okay, excellent. So, moving on to the other area that we're going to look at today, it's the low temperature alloy here.
Trevor, I'm excited by that product. It's OM550, right? And Trevor, the core difference, if you will, or what separates this from other low temperature solder paste offerings in the market, and even what we have in terms of our portfolio of low temperature products, is that the alloy configuration is HRL1, and it's a tin bismuth based alloy, but we have other elements in there for grain enhancement. But the performance, Trevor, the performance that it provides to our customer is you get very similar reliability performance to SAC 305. We're talking about a reflow profile or the required reflow that's going to enable the customer to reduce the temperature by about 50 degrees from a traditional SAC 305 process. You're getting the same performance with regard to reliability, but you're much better on the assembly, right? So if warping is an issue with a customer, either in the component or in the substrate, it really solves that problem. You're using less energy, your throughput is higher. It provides a lot of value to our customers.
So you're putting bismuth into the alloy?
It's a tin bismuth based alloy, like I said, with other elements to refine the grain structure. It has, in terms of its thermal cycling performance, almost exactly the same as SAC 305.
Does that reduce the cost as well?
It reduces the cost from the standpoint your throughput increases, you're using less energy to run your ovens. You potentially also could use a lower cost alloy, substrate. Let's say you're using FR4 now. You could, a customer could switch to FR2, which is typically lower cost.
So, finally, Robert, of course, congratulations are in order, because I see in front of us here a Service Excellence Award from the...
Trevor, we're very, very proud of that. I mean, it's terrific from the standpoint Circus Assembly went out and interviewed customers, right? From the standpoint of, different service elements or performance standards, from customers, and this is feedback from actual customers, right? So from all performance standards or what they rated us on in terms of assembly materials, Alpha was the winner. So we're very, very proud of that.
That's an amazing achievement. Did you win it for service for Alpha, or did you win it for a product?
It's actually Alpha, right? All products combined. And again, we're not talking about just the materials, the paste, the flux, the preforms, core wire. It's basically how we supply customers and how we service our customers.
The whole service package that goes behind it. Yeah. Well, once again, many congratulations, Robert, and thank you for telling us about the latest materials here on the booth, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.